Hello, welcome to Pastor Jerone TV. I'm your host, Pastor Jerone Davison. Today is another blessed day to be walking with God and be in the light of the Lord. So they want Trump's head. Iran is offering $80 million for the head of Donald Trump. They came up with this $80 million number because they were saying that there's 80 million people there in Iran, and they could, if each Iranian gives $1, that's $80 million for the head of this, quote, yellow-headed lunatic. Okay? This country that has been chanting death to America for years, even during the time of Obama, during the time of Bush, the time of Senior Bush, these people will not cease, and they don't want to have peace with anybody. The Bible says this about the descendants of Abraham and, what was her name? Harana. They had offspring. This was not the promised son Isaac, but this was the offspring of the flesh. And God says that their hands will be against every man, and every man's hands will be against them. This was God. This was the prophecy from God against these people, that they will be against every man, and every man will be against them. Okay? But America, the American media, and the Democrats are making out as if these people, these Iranians, were in the right, and if Soleimani, the one who was killed, this man who was killing Americans and plotting to kill more, was that they were okay, that he was a great leader. He was a leader in Iran. This is what they were saying. But they're offering $80 million, and it sounds to me that they're doing this as a fundraiser, because first of all, you don't want to mess with America. Okay, and this is what Trump is showing everybody. Iran does not want to mess with America. And if they hit any target, if they mess with anything, if they breathe heavy, it's going to be hell to pay. So I don't think they want to do anything. I think they're trying to appease their crowd and their people as if they're going to do something, but they don't want to do that. They don't want this work. Okay? And the American media, they're the worst. The mainstream media, they're the worst. Instead of touting America's new weapons and our power and our arsenal and how intelligent our generals are and how important and how President Donald Trump backs up his word, and if he makes a threat, he's going to follow it up. Instead of touting our power, they're talking about all the moves Iran could make. See, this is an anti-American media. You're talking about how great and how the enemy could strategize to harm us, but you're not talking about how powerful we are and how we just put trillions of dollars into our military. We got new weapons, we got new everything, stealth bombers, we got drones, we have everything, technology up the yin yang, if you wouldn't believe it. And instead of talking about that, they're talking about how Iran could get back at us. Aren't you an American? Do you live here? Don't you have family here? Why would you want to see an enemy come over here and destroy us? Which brings me to this, people. This is why border security is so important. Because prior to President Donald Trump killing this Soleimani guy, these people were coming into America through the Mexican border. They were. And this is why we got to secure up our borders, because we don't want people in here who are coming in with the intent to harm, to kill, to steal, and to do Americans in. Okay? And this is why border security is needed. And this is why the Democrats are an anti-American party at this point. When they started trying to make ways for people to come across that border unabated, without any hindrance, without any ID, without anything, they became the enemy of the people. See, they don't worry about this kind of stuff happening to them because they have armed security. They live in gated communities. Okay? They are secured at all times, them and their families. But you let these beasts among us and our families, and we're the ones who voted you to have power And that power we gave you is to protect us. Okay, but anyway, the picture that you see in this thumb drive, or that I'm going to post later on today, is when President Donald Trump was recently overseas for the forum with all the other world leaders. And there was a U.S., maybe an FBI, or one of President Donald Trump's security pointing his fingers into President Donald Trump's back as if he's going to assassinate him or kill him. See, the FBI, the CIA, and all of these so-called intelligence, which they are dumb, these so-called intelligence agencies tried to overthrow President Donald Trump with lied and falsified information from Russia about this Russia and collusion and all that different stuff. But now they're taking pictures as if they are assassinating. They're letting us know in subliminal messages that they are close enough to take him out at any time. And President Donald Trump, he needs prayer, and he needs to watch his back as to who he would allow in. Any Obama leftovers, any Bush leftovers is dangerous to his health. And the greatest danger is not coming from Iran's threat to have his head for $80 million. The greatest threat is coming from our own intelligence agencies. These people do not like Trump. They don't like the fact that America is great, is becoming great again, that it's wealthy again, that it's controlling its own sovereignty, because these people have bought into handing our sovereignty over to the one world order so that they can come in and police and control, take down the human population and kill out people so that they can have their new world order. And in the new world order, they have been promised to have great positions and great wealth, to have islands and all this different stuff. So yes, they are with that. And they don't mind taking out a few lives along the way. And that also means taking out the life of the President of the United States of America. See, people don't realize this. President Donald Trump is the most presidential and the most powerful president probably in U.S. history, because of the timing and how that everything was being handed over to China and to UN, and how he came in and stopped all of that. He withdrew us from the Paris Treaty. He withdrew money from the UN. He backed us out of all these different things that was making us hand our sovereignty over to the one world order. And President Donald Trump stopped that. And if you listen to his speeches and to his prayer meetings and all the different things, he's talking about how that we are a people that worship God, not government. Okay? And that's what the Democrats was doing. It was trying to get folks to worship the government, which is the beast, the mark of the beast. We worship God, not government. And the mark of the beast is going to come from the government, folks. And President Donald Trump is a very important figure in this last and evil day. He's been appointed by God to give us more time, because eventually this thing is going to be handed over, and there will be a one world order, because there's already a one world religion. The Pope has already signed that treaty with the Muslims. And the time is going to come when there's going to be a one world treaty and a one world religion. But God has given us, by his grace, and I thank God for that, he's given us more time to get ourselves together, because we're not ready. The Christians aren't even ready. Pastors aren't even ready. They're preaching against Trump. They're preaching against America. They're preaching against everything that God is instituting at this time to give us more time. And once it's handed back over to the Democrat Party, I believe at that time, they're going to release the beast. They're going to force people to give their power and personal power and sovereignty over to the government. The mark is going to come out, and it's going to be a deal. It's going to be a wrap. It's going to be a wrap. So yeah, they want to see Trump more than the Iranian people. These American hating people like Colin Kaepernick, the Muslims, not all Muslims, I'm guessing, but most of these folks, when Colin Kaepernick hooked up with that Muslim girl, he became a hater of America. And here he is on Twitter and all this stuff, apologizing to the Iranians for the assassination of a murderer, instead of saying thank God for America. You know, it's crazy, man. We're in a crazy time. And yes, people are drawing their lines. They're making their choices. And I'm glad that President Donald Trump has forced people to make their choices and to come out of their hiding and choose their political side, because really the political side is really the spiritual side. Right? Anytime a party comes out and tell you that they want to kill the unborn and then kill them the day that they're born, they're the Antichrist. Anytime a party is telling you that they want a man to become a woman, and they're telling our children as early as elementary that they want the kids to choose what sex they want to be, they are the Antichrist. And when a church or so-called Christian chooses to vote with those people, you are not Christian. You are the Antichrist. You're the children of the dark. And don't get it twisted. Don't even think it's going to pass with God, because when you stand before God in judgment, God is going to call you on the carpet for voting for Antichrist agendas. People say, well, you're voting for Trump. Yes, I am. What's wrong with Trump? What's wrong with Trump? Trump is pushing the Bible. Trump is getting rid of money for abortions. Trump is giving religious freedom. Okay? I'm not saying that the man is a pastor. I'm not saying that he's a priest, and I'm not saying that he's a holy man or none of that stuff. But he's a politician, he's a president, and he is the one that has power to enforce laws or to take away things that God is not pleased with, and to introduce things that are pleasing to God, which is what he's doing. That's what he's doing. Okay? He's doing that. Well, Trump is a racist. Trump is a racist. No, nobody's proven that. The media told you that. The lying false prophet media told you that, and you're going with it because you're a loser. You're a witch. Hillary Clinton lost, and you're going to run with any narrative that make you feel good against a person that destroyed your witch. And you're upset about that, so you'll take that narrative, but you don't take into account that President Donald Trump supported the first black man to run for president, which was Jesse Jackson. I don't know if he was the first black man to run for president, but he supported him when no Democrats did. He gave him millions. He gave him free room and board in his hotel. Okay? He helped him with money to set up housing for blacks. All that. And all ball players, boxers, and all that stuff was around Trump at all time. No true racist would put themselves around people they hate. And Trump was around blacks all the time. And yes, he is the president who came up with the prison reform bill when every other president could have done it. They just talked about it because it was a good talking point to get votes. But President Donald Trump did it. He didn't do it to go through the Senate. He didn't go through none of that stuff because the Democrats was not going to vote to get blacks out of prison. They want the illegals out of prison. They want the criminals. They want those that rape kids and all. They want them to go free and keep the black people locked up because we're going to get their vote anyway. You're a Christian. You have no business voting for people who are showing you who they are when they want same sex and murder of kids. Okay? But anyway, we're praying for the president. God bless him. God bless you. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe, click the like button, and share my videos. God bless you.